Number 7, the table shows the cost for bowling at 2 bowling alleys. So there's a shoe rental fee. They have different prices. And there's a different cost per game. Write a system of equations with one equation describing the cost to bowl at Bowlerama and the other describing the cost to bowl at bowling pins. For each equation, let X represent the number of games and Y represent the total cost. Okay, so since we have 2 different companies, we're able this time just to start with Y equals for both of them. So our first equation is going to be for Bowlerama. We don't know how many games that they're playing. So beside the cost per game is where we're going to be putting the variable X, because this part may happen more than one time. They might bowl one game, but they could bowl more than that. So we're matching that up with the variable, the unknown that we don't know. Now, if you think about whenever you go bowling, how many times do you have to pay the shoe rental fee? Well, that's just the first thing that you're going to do. You're going to get your shoes, and you're going to wear them the whole time you're there, no matter how many games you're bowling. You're keeping on those same shoes. So do you have to pay this for each game, or do you just pay it one time? Well, it's just going to happen one time. It's a fee. We said that the fee is the y-intercept, okay? So we're going to write out our equation for that first one. You're going to start with y equals. We're going to put that number that has the x with it first, because we want slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So this 250 per game is going to end up being the slope of the graph, because that's happening over and over. And then how much you had to pay at the beginning before you had played any games, that's going to be your y-intercept. So plus 2 is at the back. For the second equation, y equals, I'm doing my slope first, so that's the cost per game, 2x plus that $4 fee. Okay, so remember the graph is going to start with your y-intercept number. So I'll go ahead and I'll graph the first one for you, and I'll let you graph that second equation to see where the lines intersect, okay? That first one is 2.50, and we could do that over 1, but it's going to make more sense just to turn this 2.5 into a fraction. So on my calculator, I could punch it in 2.5 math enter to see the fraction if I didn't know what it was. But I know that's going to be 5 over 2. And I'm going to start at, let me go ahead and write that. Rise over run is going to be 5 over 2. But I'm going to begin at 2, okay? So here's my first point. My x and y axis are counting by 2 different things, so I need to fill these in. Down here it's just counting by ones. Whoops. Okay, I felt like I did that wrong. Over here, it is counting by 2s. Okay. So, whenever I do my slope of rise 5 and run 2, whenever I'm counting my rise, I'm going to have to count by what they're counting by, okay? So, I'm trying to go up 5. So, here's 2, 4. I'm not going to go all the way to 8 because I'm going just 1 unit on here. So, I went from a 2 to a 7. So, 2 plus 5 got me up to 7. But now whenever I run, I need to run 2 units. 1, 2, put a point. I'm at the y value of 7, and I need to go up 5. So I'm going to rise all the way up to a 12 and then run over 2 units. I'm at 12 and I need to rise 5, so I'm going up to 17. I'm going to run over 2 units. I don't have enough room to rise up another 5, so carefully draw your line through your points. So whenever you're ready to graph your next one, you're going to be starting at the number 4. Your slope is 2 over 1. So remember, this is counting by 2's. So basically, you'll be doing a jump of 1 unit and then 1 unit over from your starting number of a 4. You'll be going up 1 and right 1 because the y's were counting by 2's and the x's were counting by 1's. After you've got that intersection point, they ask you, what does it represent? So notice that x will be the number of games and your y axis is labeled with the cost. So that point that they have in common, we're saying for X amount of games, they would cost the same amount no matter which place you went to, either Bowl-O-Rama or bowling pins.